Hey everybody, Beth Helvey with Couture Real Estate. I hope you're doing well today. The November numbers for the Sarasota Manatee market came out right before the holidays, and I want to give them to you now. So typically what happens in our area, non-COVID, is that we'll slow down kind of in November, pick up a little bit again, in the beginning of December, and then we'll slow down for that 3-weekish period between Christmas and New Year's Day. Our snowbirds, our winter residents, which come for high season, which is January, February, March, and kind of into April, they will start coming usually the second or third week of January, and a lot of that depends on what day the first actually falls on. Okay, so that's where we are. The unusual thing that has been going on with this lately is that we actually started getting our snowbirds and our residents are coming in early. Now, if y'all remember, we talked about this a little while ago, which is some of our Canadian residents either aren't coming or they're coming later or they're being delayed because of travel between Canada and United States. And a lot of our winter guests are Canadians. Even with that, there still aren't very many rentals available. So if you call me today and say, hey, Beth, can you get me something anywhere for a week in February? Maybe I can, maybe I can't. That's where we're at right now. Same thing with our purchasers. Our purchasers are coming to the area in droves. You know, they're getting out of the cities. They're getting out of some of the states like New York where the high taxes. So you've got a combination of high taxes and close proximity with the cities and things like that. Some of it's politically motivated. Some of it's just different things, and they're coming to Florida, and they're coming to other warm states, not just Florida. They're doing this all along the south of the United States. So let's talk about numbers in November. So numbers in November are like we've been seeing, to be perfectly honest. So if we're going to talk about Sarasota County only, in 2020, 850 properties closed, single-family homes in Sarasota County for an increase of 36%. It took 15 days to go to contract, median days to go to contract, for a decrease of 62%. It used to be 40 days, okay? There were 799 new listings as opposed to 2019 in November. There were 855, a decrease of 6% plus some. We have 1,411 properties under contract, which is pending. Pending is under contract, okay? And in 2019, there was 929. We have a 51% increase in properties that are currently under contract over this time last year, okay? Our inventory numbers. Inventory is, what do you have on the shelves? How many units do you have? In single-family homes, we currently have 1,361 properties available, or we did in November rather, available for sale in Sarasota County. Whereas in 2019, there was 2,560 for a decrease of 46%. Months of inventory, which basically means is how long it takes to sell a property. Months of inventory gives you an idea of how much is available. The bigger the number, the more that's available. The smaller the number, the less that's available. We are now at 1.8 months of inventory. In November of 2019, we had 3.6. So if you look at these numbers, our pendings are up, okay? So the number of properties that are currently under contract have increased dramatically over last year. Whereas our actual physical inventory, the amount of property we have that we can convey to somebody, has gone down, okay? We're seeing that all across the board. In condos, now condos are a different beast. During the beginning of the pandemic, the condo situation slowed down dramatically, okay? Now condos can be seasonal. Hi Beth, hi Ira. Condos can be seasonal in that the majority of our condo purchasers are our snowbirds and our retired people. We call it a lock it and leave it situation where they can come and go. They're traveling if they're here full time, or they come here for a few months, they go back up north, they can lock the door, they can walk away, and they don't worry about it because they don't, because they don't have to worry about maintenance. They don't have to worry about the property being checked on. They don't have to worry about cutting the grass. They don't have to worry about watering the lawn and, anything like that. It's a really fantastic situation. But when the pandemic started, which was the end of our season in 2019, condos dried up because you're living in close proximity to somebody else, right? So, but here's what's happening. In November in Sarasota County, our we closed more condos. We closed 422 condos versus 313 in 2019. Increase of 34%. Condos are back. Okay. So days to contract, 35 days. Condo days to contract is always going to be more because what one has to go through to buy a condo, that's another video. Don't worry about that. That's not a big deal. Okay. New listings. Listings are down 454 from 523. So they are down 13%. Okay. But we had more close. So in inventory, we have a little bit less inventory. We have 1,106 condos listed in November versus in 2019, there was 1,615. So it went down, okay? Months of inventory dropped by almost half. We're at 2.9 in Sarasota County versus in 2019, we had 4.9. So granted, the condo situation isn't coming back as strongly as the single family home situation for obvious reasons, but it is coming back, okay? So let's talk about Manatee County, okay? In Manatee County, we had in November 717 properties closed versus 511 in 2019 for an increase of 40%. Okay, took less time to go to contract, 19 days versus 43 days. Listings are actually up a little bit. So thank you, Manatee County, for giving us more property to sell. There are 644 properties in November of 2020 to sell versus 618. Okay, so not a whole lot, but we're going to take every single one of those, right? Then in pending numbers, our pending numbers are high. Pending numbers are up 25%, 622 versus 495. Inventory is down 46%. So it's the same thing. We have an increase in properties that are currently under contract where a buyer and seller agree to the terms and they're going through the process of actually transferring the property. Okay, that's what pending means. But we've got less inventory. So we've got 46% less inventory in November of 2020 than we did in 2019. Months of inventory is also down, obviously. We've got 1.6 months of inventory in single family homes versus 2019, which is 3.3. That's a lot less. Same thing with condos. Condos had the same situation in Manatee County than in Sarasota County. They kind of stalled out and now they're coming back. It's a perfect situation because we're getting ready to head into season, okay? And our seasonal residents want something that's easy. They don't want to cut the grass. They don't want to water the grass. They don't want to paint fences and power wash driveways and wash windows. They don't want to do that. They don't want to tend to the gardens. They want to enjoy themselves. They've worked hard to get here. This is what they want to do with their lives. So enclosed inventory in Manatee County in condo situations, it went up. 322 versus 209, up by 58%. So a lot of people are buying condos in Manatee County. The days on market stay the same. Ironically enough, same thing for single family homes as for condos. I don't know why, but it stayed the same. New listings are down. We're down 14% of new listings. So we don't have as many new listings as we used to. The pending has gone up 40%. So listings, number of properties available for sale have gone down, but the properties under contract have gone up over last year, okay? Inventory has gone down by 35%, and months of inventory is now at 2.3, which is down 45%. So it's the same thing we've been talking about, okay? And it's the same thing in a lot of areas of the country. We've got a lot going on here. We've got people in our particular area that are looking to leave the Northeast. So the things that they've got going against them is the snow. Nobody wants to deal with it anymore. They don't want to be stuck inside with the snow if they can't go outside. So we've got the pandemic issue. People don't want to be living in close proximity to other persons. You know, New York and some of the other areas in the Northeast have had issues with taxes for a long time. That started a flood of people coming our way several years ago. But now we've got those three things. And for some people, the pandemic was just the one where they said, that's it, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not doing with this anymore. The pandemic was my last straw. I'm going to Florida or, Georgia or, South Carolina or Arizona or Alabama or wherever they went. Okay. That's what's going on. And that's what we call our feeder market. And they're all coming this way and they're coming now. Okay. They're not waiting until mid-January. They're coming now. They've been coming. I bet you our December numbers are going to be really, really interesting and really, really surprising. So what does that mean for you? If you want to buy a house, be prepared. You may not get everything you want, okay? Have your must-haves, have your negotiables. Have your pre-approval ready if you are going to be pre-approved, and understand what that means. Understand what your interest rate might be. You don't lock it in until you go under contract. Understand what that means as far as what your monthly payment is going to be, especially if you're somebody who watches that monthly payment, as you really should be doing. Understand that certain things like your taxes, your fees, if you have any, are going to play a part of that, and have all that put together. If you're buying with cash, have your pre-approval ready. Doesn't matter that you can walk in the door and say, I own this house, I need to pay in cash, I can pay in cash, don't worry about it. Prove it. Make sure you have it ready. All you need is a screenshot. You blank out everything that is pertaining to personal information. You have your bank on there, your name on there, that it's whatever kind of an account, checking, savings, whatever, and you have the balance. That's all you need. Oh, and the date. That's all you need. Okay, you don't need any of that other stuff. Okay, you want to sell your house? That's awesome, but price it right. Make sure it's ready to hit the market. There are still properties sitting on the market that have been sitting on the market for 6 months or a year because they're priced wrong. Price pretty much answers every question. Or there's something wrong enough with the house that it's making it kind of an oddball property, and you're going to have to do something to the house, fix it up, whatever that situation is. If you can, you're going to have to do whatever repairs or whatever you need. For example, if you live in a neighborhood where it's predominantly loan driven in that neighborhood, and you've got a 19-year-old roof, you're going to have a really hard time selling your house if you've got a shingle roof. These are things that you need to be aware of. There's ways to take care of these things. There's ways to make it appealing. There's ways to get you from point A to money in your hand. And those are serious conversations you need to have with your realtor. Or if you don't have a realtor, call me or go online and find yourself a realtor. These are serious conversations you need to have. But make sure you price it right. Make sure you have everything put together. Make sure the house looks the best when you have the photography. Even though inventory is exploding, and not exploding, even though pendings are exploding and people are coming here, if your photography isn't good, if when your photographer comes, your house is a mess, if you really should trim those hedges, if you really should power wash your driveway, people will still go home without buying. When people buy here, they buy here because they want to, not because they have to. Think about when you go to the store and you've got to buy a coat, because it's cold out, because it's Florida and we're cold. If you don't see what you like, you're going to go home. You don't care that you need a coat. You're still going to go home. It's a really super, super simple way to look at property here, but it's still that same way. Not everybody that moves here because they have to. They move here because they want to. And when you understand that, you'll put a little bit more effort into preparing your property to sell it, okay? Because even though inventory is down, it's not down enough to where you can throw it on the market and it'll come in droves. The rest of the country, they're going insane. There's parts of the country where they're going nuts, and that is happening. It's not necessarily happening here for the majority of the kinds of property that we sell here. So I hope that answered some questions. I may have just muddied the water a little bit. If you have any questions on this, let me know. Throw it in the comments or send me a DM. I'm going to write all this up and I'm going to put it in a blog post, and I'll tag it on here so you can read it. If you have any questions on real estate in general, let me know. Throw it in the comments or send me a DM. I love answering your questions. The market report is something I do anyway, but some of my best stuff is from questions that people ask me that I didn't even know was a question. I hope you're having a great day. Thank God it's getting warmer here. So the last couple of days were pretty brutal. I know you people up north are telling us to just settle down, but we're not going to. We're going to whine. So it's going to be in the 70s later today. Later this week. If you have the opportunity to get out and enjoy some sunshine, please do so. Wear your sunscreen, drink a lot of water, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.